Hello and welcome to day 16 of the Black Knight Inspiration Challenge. Thank you for all the lovely feedback. There were really some great insights in what you were saying and some great questions. So it's great to have them coming in. It just livens it for me. It's that engagement. It's great, really good. So today, we just kind of gather back a little bit. We did the roots, which under the ground, you're getting your self-worth, but they're not seen. The roots are under the ground. Then you get the trunk, which is above ground. It's uniform, but it doesn't have that kind of expansive blossoming, flowering. So we're coming up. Yesterday was the first day of the branches, and the branches is where you spread out and you really show yourself to the world. You really shine yourself to the world. And once we do whatever it is in our psyche, once we do that, usually it's where a lot of voices get activated. A lot of voices come in, and they're not really supportive. They're not the kind of cheerleading voices that you want at that moment when you're about to shine. So where do all these come from? Well, actually, they're not our voices. They might sound like ours because they're in our head, but they're not our voices. So a guy called Eric Byrne did a huge amount of work on this, and he could gather in his work on his own patients. He could gather the voices into groups and could show you there was a pattern to. They weren't just all these voices, random voices. They were actually grouped together, and there were patterns to them. Okay. So if you just understand the grouping of the voices in your head and just bring your awareness to them, complete change. You understand, okay, so some voices, you just bring your awareness to them. So let me just bring you through the voices. So you have wounded child voice. Okay, and that's the child that's like a victim, blaming this for that, blaming something else. It's just a very, it's just that child that just doesn't feel good about the world and just, I can't do this, and it's an excuse for this, and blames this, blames that. So that voice exists in us. We picked it up when we were tiny. And it's like a CD. It still plays off in our head. I don't feel I can do this, and the world is. It's just this wounded child voice. And then on the other side we have a critical parent voice. Okay, so the critical parent voice is, we hear this all the time. You don't have your exercise done, which is when you grow up, it's like you don't have your report finished. You're not eating your, proper food. You're not, why aren't you, doing more of this? Why aren't you exercising more? Why aren't you, it's all this critical. And then when you do something, it's like, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's not perfect. We need to do more on this. It could be better. It could be better. It's not, this is not good. And it's a real criticism. The inner critic, and it's the critical parent. It comes from our parents, and interestingly, on voices like the critical parent, we think, oh no, well, I'll never be like my parents and all. Then you have children, and like me, you end up saying the very things that your parents say, and the first few sentences come out, and you say, oh my God, I just sound like my parents. Get to bed. Why aren't you eating your greens? You have all these voices. And they change over time. So although the voices might sound like they're talking about your career or your work or your art, it's actually the same critical voice inside you that just comes out in a different, in a different form about what you're doing. But it's the same criticism, same dropping you down, criticizing you, and so you just feel like you're knocked every time the voice hits you. So these come out here. You have these voices, and then as well as those, okay, You've also got, as well as wounded child, you've actually got magical child. And the magical child is amazing. The magical child, is like that natural self. It's like everything is, the world is magic, and you have a cardboard box. You can spend hours. You got a present, a big present, and the present goes to one side, and you're just make a house out of the cardboard box, and you're playing for hours. So the world, and then you turn around from the cardboard box, and there's another cardboard box. The world is just magic. It's just like set up for you. And I remember being in a in a shop, and at just where the cash register is, there were a line of parents, and they were talking, I don't know, about politics or economics or the world. And down lower were these two children. And at the lower level beside the cash desk, there's all like bags of crisps, different types of crisps. And the two kids were like at this level, and they could just see crisps, and they were all like, oh, crisps, my God, if the world was just made up of crisps. Meanwhile, the adults up here were talking all the serious stuff. So it is this for the magical child. The magical child is down here where the world is just a magical kingdom. It's amazing. It's really amazing. So this voice is really good. It's to keep that world, keep the world as a magical, interconnected, symbolic world. That it's really, you need to keep this one. And then over here we have nurturing parent, another voice, and the nurturing parent is like the opposite of the critical parent. The nurturing parent is like, you need to eat, give yourself more time, maybe have a massage, go for a walk in nature, like eat healthy food, but enjoy it, like eat healthy food, balance it with, some nice things. It's just a really nurturing, take time to yourself, get out with your friends and just take time to rest, read a book, just enjoy yourself. So it's a much more nurturing, you feel loved, you feel kind of swaddle in, take a little bit of a rest, lie down for a bit, just don't, it's not this do critical parent. You haven't got to write, it's not late, it's late, everything is late for the critical parent, So you have all these voices really, and these are the groupings that I was talking about: wounded child, magical child, critical parent, nurturing parent. And you can see even the way I've drawn them, these are higher level voices of the magical child and the nurturing point, and the lower ones really keep us down: the wounded victim child of the blame, and the critical parent, critical. And we see these out in the world as well. It's not just like the world is an accumulation of individuals. So these voices will be out in the world, the criticisms, the blame, the wounded, we blame the governments, blame the, whoever it is. That's the wounded child within our civilization or within our society coming out. And then we've also got the magical child as well in our society. So these just get reflected out in the world. But it's, for these sessions, the Black Night, it's about you. It's about your awareness and your awareness of what voice is going off in my head. And really, the predominant voices are, if you hear our wounded child and critical parent, these constellate more in our heads. We have much less nurturing parent and we have much less magical child. The volume is turned down on those. So this is awareness. Stay conscious, because these voices can be, that's unconscious coming through. So we need to be very, very conscious and not be led by them. And straight up to the middle, in the middle of all these voices, there's actually the adult, and the adult is like you sitting in the middle going, okay, I'm hearing myself saying, I'm late, for something, all right, this isn't perfect, and I need to do more work in it. And the adult is the conscious part, and the adult says, no, it's good. It's really good. I put a lot of work into it. It's really, really good, and that's what, I'm doing the videos and, doing my, if I let my critical parent in, I would just have so many takes. Now I have, I do have a lot of takes to make sure that what I'm putting out is, for me, is really good and values the people who are on the challenge. But I have to turn down the critical parent, otherwise I would never ever get the challenge done. I'd never get the stuff done every day, you know. And the wounded child, I blame the technology, blame the whatever, you know, when the chimes, when I couldn't get the chimes working, like I knew it was part of the, you know, of my self-worth. It wasn't me about blaming, you know, the whole world about it. So you need to be, as this conscious adult, very clear of the voices that are coming in. And also you can have too much nurturing, you know, you need to get stuff done, you need to, you know, action things. So you know, and the magical child, I could spend hours out in nature and never be seen again. So you need to, you know, you need to listen. Okay, that's the magical child. I've had a few, you know, an hour of the magical child. Let's get back. So the conscious adult is sitting in the middle, going, okay, what? Yeah, listen to the voices. And try and turn up, as I turn up the volume on the nurturing parent and the magical child, because it's the wounded child blaming this, blaming that, and just, I can't do this, I don't feel, you know, I can't, it's not, I'm, you know, I just don't, yeah, the world, and that's wounded child. Critical parent again, you know, like you don't. All those just keep you low. So this is really, you know, we're into the branches. We're about, you know, you can feel the energy from the trunk. You're just to spread out. And all of a sudden the critical parent and the wounded child just clobber it down, and you feel, oh, I can't do it, I can't. Like you're just the weight of those voices down. And so you need to get that time, yeah, balance it with a bit of nurturing parent and also the magical child. See the magic in it, you know, the magic in everything that you do. And that's more expansive. It's more branches like, you know, these top two, more branches like, and the conscious adult. And the conscious adult really comes up from Shiva. Remember we talked about Shiva being that point of consciousness for man. So the conscious adult is just another Shiva coming up, yeah? Coming up, real black knight. Shiva's black knight. The conscious adult is real black knight, sitting in the middle. It doesn't get dragged around, swayed around by all the voices. The same as yesterday, making sure that the brains, you know, you really hold your center, and don't get lost in the stress and all of those mammalian and reptile brains. So this is really, really important. So today I've got an awareness practice for you, so that you can start to unravel the groupings, these groupings of voices. And you might hear some others, but they're not yours, you know, they're not your voices. So you need to be really clear that they don't drive what you do. You don't listen to them and take them seriously, you know. So hope you enjoyed the awareness practice. Again, this is great. This is really great. Brings us up from the physical brains up into the voices. So again, we're moving up into that more expansive energy of the branches. So have a great practice on it, and I will see you tomorrow for day 17.